Welcome back to the channel. If you like what you see and you enjoy the content, then please make sure that you hit the like button and share. And if you would like to receive future content, make sure that you subscribe and you also hit the notification bell. Hello everybody. So just bringing you up to date with exactly what we know in the Heidi Broussard case. Heidi went missing on December 12th with her 2-week-old infant daughter Margot from her home in Austin, Texas. She was found a week later inside the trunk of a vehicle that belonged to and was registered to one of her friends, Megan Fieramusca, also known as Megan Humphrey. Cause of death has been confirmed as ligature strangulation, although the circumstances surrounding Heidi's murder have not been publicly confirmed. It's important to note at this time that police have no reason to believe that her fiancé Shane Carey had anything to do with Heidi's kidnapping or her murder. Mercifully, baby Margot was found at the house alive and well and seemingly unharmed. Megan Fieramusca has now been transferred from Houston to Austin. She's being held on charges of kidnapping and evidence tampering, namely that of Heidi's body, and the bond is set at $600,000. So what do we know about this Megan Fieramusca? Well, according to one of Heidi's social media profiles, she was actually one of her best friends, and it's been confirmed that they met at church camp when Heidi was just 11 years old. It appears that Megan basically faked a pregnancy at the same time as Heidi's pregnancy. She even went on to set up a online baby registry with the same due date, December 1st, as Heidi's baby. But the whole time during Heidi's pregnancy, it appears that Megan was plotting basically to steal her baby. She was even in the delivery room when Heidi gave birth to her daughter Margot. This woman had everybody fooled, including her friends and neighbours who believed that she was pregnant. And even after the murder of Heidi and abduction of Margot, she was telling her neighbours that it was her baby and the baby's name was Luna May. And one of the search and recovery organisations involved in trying to track down Heidi, Texas EquuSearch, she even had them fooled, and this is their founder, Tim Miller.
Well, the family called us first, and then I talked to the detectives up in Austin, and we talked several times with detectives. And they said, we just don't have anything yet on the investigation. It's narrowing this thing down to an area that we think we need to search. And he asked me, he said, have you found any areas? And I said, well, I did, but I don't know if they make any sense. I said, I rode around with Shane for a long time. I spent a good part of the day with him. And, we hate to go up there and spend a lot of money and burn up a bunch of resources with just shooting an arrow in the sky. Wherever it comes down, that's where you start. So we stayed in close touch. I talked to Shane almost every day. Shane was frustrated at best, and
he took a lot of heat.
He took a lot of heat. And Shane would call me and say, man, they brought me in, they polygraphed me, they kept me 7.5 hours and stuff, and he got upset with him. He called him some names that we can't say, and he said, if I had anything to do with it, squeeze it out of me. How come you can't squeeze it out of me? And, and Shane was questionable in my mind. He was, and his stories weren't just quite as consistent as I thought. But I got to remember, I went through that my own self. And in the very beginning, there's a lot of different things going through your head. So I understand it now. Now I understand it. But then, another friend gave me some friends of Heidi's and says, why don't you call him? And so my first call was to Megan. And she answered the phone, and I told her who I was, and she said, yeah, I've seen you on TV so many times, and just thank you for helping find my friend. And I said, well, Megan, I said, what's your heart telling you on this? And she said, Shane did it. She says, I was there 10 years ago when they met. I told Heidi, stay away from this guy, he's trouble, the relationship's on and off, there's been a lot of abuse going on. Shane keeps saying, well, that baby's not even mine and stuff. She called me back in May and said that her and Shane had a terrible fight, and she just went on and on and on, and to the point that literally probably 45 minutes later, I said, Megan, listen, I got to go. I'm getting a call on the other line. And said, Mr. Miller, thank you for what you're doing. She says, I'm going to keep talking to people and everything. If I come up with anything, is it okay if I call you? And I said, Megan, please do. Please call me. And I mean, looking back at that conversation on Sunday to now, there was not one single indication that I would ever believe she had anything to do with it. So, you know, and here she's at the hospital with Heidi when she has a baby. Here she is after Heidi gets out at the house helping and everything. Here's supposedly the best friend. So.
Best friend. Not just a friend, best friend.
One of the best friends. Yeah, she had like 3 really, really close friends, and Megan was right there.
When the baby was born.
When the baby was born.
We heard she went to baby appointments with her before.
Oh yes, she did everything. Best friend.
Have you seen these baby registries in her name?
Well, some people told me about some things out there, and you know, and of course there's rumors going around that Megan's boyfriend was wanting to break up with her, so she told him that she was pregnant, and you know, but anybody can speculate, and I think everybody did a lot of speculation during that period of time, and Megan never came in the mix. So
did she? Did you ask her? Was she forthcoming about maybe the last time she saw?
Well, I asked her. I said, "Now, have you talked to detectives?" And Megan said, "Yeah, they called me because you know, it looks like maybe I was the last one to talk to her, and we talked that morning, probably around 8:30, because she was having problems breastfeeding." And I said, "But you didn't tell them about all this other stuff you're telling me?" And she said, "No, they didn't ask me about anything. They just asked me what our last conversation was like." And I said, "Megan, don't you think maybe you need to call them?" I said, it sounds like maybe there's some information about Shane and in that relationship that they really need to know, and with you being a best friend, it couldn't come from anybody better. So she certainly had me convinced that, she cried on the phone. So then last night when we was up there at the house, I started thinking about it, and hell, when she was talking to me on the phone, she may have had the phone in one hand and the baby in the other, and Heidi in the back. So I don't know.
Your conversation with her was Sunday.
Sunday afternoon, probably 3:30, 4 o'clock.
And you called her and she picked up, right?
Yeah, she picked up immediately.
And her conversation with Heidi was, you said 8:30 that morning.
8:30 in the morning, she disappeared. Wow. So now it appears as though she was probably in Austin when that happened. I don't know. I mean, certainly that's up to the detectives now to, I'm sure, get phone records and different things.
She told you she talked to detectives. They called her.
She talked to detective. Ask one question: when's the last time you talked to her? You know, what was her mood? What'd she talk about? Well, she was having problems breastfeeding. I said, nothing else? No, that was it. She was in a good mood, just having problems breastfeeding.
Did you know at the time, or have you learned that Megan has different aliases, that she seems to move around a lot? Or?
Yeah, I have heard that. I really haven't looked into it. I mean, we've been busy, and you know, again, it falls into the speculation and rumor stuff and everything, but there's got to be a reason for that, doesn't there?
Heidi's mother Tammy has released a statement regarding her daughter's death. She says the family is overwhelmed with grief. We're getting through as a family. We're blessed with having many of Heidi's friends to help, and Austin and Lake Charles community have been wonderful with their support and kindness, and we're very grateful to them. With Christmas coming up, our focus is on spending time with Heidi's 6-year-old son, who has now lost his mother. She was very loved, and we want to do this as a family with his father Shane and grandfather Ty and all the others who loved Heidi.